Hi, my name is Jonathan Narcisse, and welcome back to our series. We're now getting into the 10 steps that we feel are essential to a 21st century vision of governance in Iowa. Now, the first one is for us to reorganize, reduce, and reprioritize state government. Now, in this, we first lay out the importance of reorganizing state government. Now, obviously, I won't get into all the details that are in the article, but let me give you an example of why this is important. We maintain several bureaucracies, as we like to call them, cousin bureaucracies, that are related to public safety and public defense. We have public safety, public defense, we have the Law Enforcement Academy, we have the Department of Corrections, and we have the Department of Justice. Now, that one's a little unique because it's under the purview of the Attorney General, but the other four are all within the traditional executive branch that the governor oversees. Then we have Criminal Juvenile Justice Planning, which is in the Department of Human Rights. We have the Public Defender, which is within the Department of Inspection and Appeals. All of these maintain some kind of independent and separate bureaucracy, at least the departments do. That money could be better spent elsewhere. So we talk about reorganizing state government as essential. Then we talk about reducing the cost of state government. Now, if we reorganize state government, we can save $100 to $200 million. But if we even do some things that are easy, like mandating accountability, integrity, eliminating the waste and the fraud and the abuse, we can save hundreds of millions, if not $1 billion. I'm going to give you a real good example. We're supposed to certify the number of students that are in Iowa schools on a particular date. We know that when school districts send those numbers, for the most part, they're not being truthful. We know that the governor knows this. We know that legislators know this. But nobody does anything about it. And so hundreds of millions of dollars of state money gets spent on outright fraud. So how do we fix this? On certification date, we simply send our staff or folks we retain, just like we do on election day, into those buildings, and we get an accurate head count. Just doing that one thing alone will save state taxpayers between $400 to $500 million. Now, we know that educators don't necessarily like this, at least the educators who are the administrators and the bureaucrats. We know that politicians and government officials don't like this because the more they spend, the more they think they'll be liked. But you know who will like this? The taxpayers of Iowa. Finally, we need to reprioritize. And in order to reprioritize, we just need some good old-fashioned accountability. For example, when I go into McDonald's, if I ask somebody what their job is, they can tell me fry cook, cashier. But if I go into state government, and I have gone into state government, it's very possible that when I ask them what their job is and what they should be getting done for the day, they can't tell me. That's no good. Now, I just want to explain one last principle that we're going to be working with in addition to cleaning up the archaic tax code. That's one thing we want to do. But we think that government spending needs a different kind of starting point. The starting point right now is the Revenue Estimating Conference. They tell us how much they think we're going to get, and then our state leaders figure out how much they can spend within the law, up to every penny of it. We think a better way is to have a flexible freeze up to 4 years. Don't look at the Revenue Estimating Conference as a spending part of the spending process, but simply so we know our resources, so we can stay within our resources. But use that flexible freeze and then determine what we need to spend as a state. If we do that, I guarantee you, we'll come in at least $1 billion under where we are now. Having said that, we'll let the rest be a mystery to you. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in our next part of our series.